to give a reasoned defense. I have to say this. It should be obvious. It's obvious as the nose on our face. If Jesus is Yahweh, Yahweh makes certain claims about the world that affect how you view ontology, epistemology, ethics, all those systems. And so it's meaningful to set Jesus apart as Yahweh, and it affects everything else I believe about the world. Everything. And so if there's no real connection between Jesus being Yahweh and my apologetic, I want to say 1 Peter 3:15 makes no sense.
Well, not only that, but hagiadzo, to treat as holy,
yes.
To set apart as holy. This is recognizing his place, and hence recognizing my place as the one who is subservient to him, is to serve him. Again, it is an entire radical Christian worldview that we're also going to see in Romans and Colossians.
Yes.
It's consistent.
Yep.
Very, very consistent. And we're going really, really slow here. But we press on.
Yes.
To promote the idea that Christ is foundational to being able to have knowledge. The ace up your sleeve is Colossians 2:2, which says that their hearts may be encouraged, having been knit together in love and attaining to all the wealth that comes from the full assurance of understanding, resulting in a true knowledge of God's mystery, that is, Christ himself, in whom are hidden all of the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Now, here's how you interpret that passage.
He says, I want their hearts to be encouraged and joined together in love so that they may have...
Who's the really skinny guy up there at the... Put that back up, Rich. Who's
Oh, no.
And
wow.
And it doesn't look bearded or...
No, it's a baby beard.
It's a baby beard.
It's a baby beard.
Who is that? Wow. I love when people do this. But see, people can do this to me all the way back into the 90s.
I know.
I've seen the videos. That's ugly.
Yeah, I've seen the videos.
it's like, but wow, look at that.
Yeah. Man,
how long ago was this?
It was about 4 or 5 years
Only
ago.
4 or 5 years?
That was, check this out. This was about 4 days after a major nose surgery.
Really?
And
oh yeah, you can sort of see that, huh?
Yeah, my face is puffed up.
Yeah.
I had made the commitment, and I was like, my wife said, there's no way you can do this. You just had a major surgery. I couldn't even get out of bed, and I just begged God, give me strength for 1 hour. And so in reality, this was a real gift from God to me that I could actually do this little thing here. So.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Well, now I feel really bad pointing that out. Okay.
That's okay.
All the riches of assured understanding and have the knowledge of God's mystery, Christ. Now listen closely to this. All the treasures of wisdom and knowledge are hidden in him. It seems like sort of a powerful statement and a passing statement, but it's everything when it comes to how do we know what we know, how do we defend the faith. Listen to what it says again. He says, all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge are hidden in Christ. That's a major statement. That's an epistemological statement that is huge. He's saying, how do you truly know anything? You want to know where all the wisdom and all knowledge is at? It's in Jesus. He's a source of all wisdom and all knowledge. And this is a passage most of you guys probably already know.
So to you, this is an epistemological statement. In fact, it's the beginning of any kind of epistemology. How do you truly know anything at all? Well, it's Jesus. Greg Bahnsen, who definitely had an influence on you, I can see, says in his book, Presuppositional Apologetics, Stated and Defended, the teaching of Colossians 2:3-8 is unambiguous. All knowledge, note not simply knowledge of religious matters, is to be found in Christ. Bahnsen goes on to say, all wisdom and knowledge is deposited in the person of Christ, whether it be about the War of 1812, water's chemical composition, the literature of Shakespeare, or the laws of logic. Every academic pursuit and every thought must be related to Jesus Christ, for Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Okay, so who is Paul writing to in Colossians? What's the context here? Paul's writing to a church that's being negatively influenced by pagan cults and false teachings. The church there is entrenched in mysticism and in bad philosophies that are...
Now, I'm wondering, it would be nice if I could see some sources, because there's actually a lot of discussion as to the nature of the teaching. Proto-Gnosticism is an early form of Gnosticism. It clearly is using the same terminology, gnosis, pleroma, all the terminologies there. It doesn't really seem that has entered into the church in the sense of like in Galatia quite yet, but it is a danger that he is aware of. It's been reported to him, and so he's speaking of this. But it's going to be very interesting to see how Noah pretends that noting the historical context allows for the utter diminishment of the vast application of the statement that is going to follow.
Impugning Christ's divinity. So in effect, Christ's deity is being challenged, and so Paul is responding with this letter. Paul's aim is to make Christ central and to argue that he's the Lord over all wisdom, and that he, in effect, trumps all of these other various vain philosophies, and that it's through seeking him that one actually finds all of the treasures of knowledge and wisdom. Things that are...
Now, does that mean that Christ is only trumps this particular range of claims of wisdom?
Yeah.
Or is it all claims of wisdom because of what happened in Colossians 1, where it says, for by him were all things created, whether in the heavens, the earth, visible, invisible, principalities, powers, dominions, or authorities, all things created by him. He's before all things. In him, all things sunestikim. They have their... Now, is that just limited to proto-Gnosticism in the first century?
Yep.
I mean, that is a claim that Jesus is the creator of the entire created universe, because that was a smack in the face to a Gnostic.
Yep.
Because if you understand Gnosticism, then you understand that they believed that there was a pure, holy, spiritual God that could never have created this evil universe.
Yeah.
Spirit is good. They're dualists. Material is evil. And so you have these eons that come down that makes up the pleroma, and eventually you get far enough down, you have a demiurge who is Jehovah, and he's still powerful enough to create, but he's far enough away from the true God that he can create the physical universe. And what Paul is doing is he is smacking proto-Gnosticism into pieces by saying, you can't make some room in here in the pleroma for Jesus. He is the one who made it all. That's his statement. How can you limit that? How is that not relevant to any other philosophical statement regarding origins for a Christian?
Yeah. If Jesus made the world and everything in it, if he holds it all together, if there's nothing that exists that wasn't created by him, if he did all that, then that means that has something to say in the area of philosophy and metaphysics. And again, it's everything and encompasses everything. And I want to say this, it's confusing to me because Noah said